Hello everyone, my name is Gloria Castillo. I am a current student, soon to be graduate at Florida International University. For today, we'll be discussing crimes committed in and by upper, middle, and lower socioeconomic areas. As to socioeconomic areas, there are three different types of socioeconomic areas. These are considered to be upper, middle, and lower class. For upper class, these are the people that are considered to be mostly business owners, have a college or university education, and have a lot of wealth, making a household net worth of 1 million. As to middle class are considered to be the working class with less of a bachelor's degree. For lower class are considered to be people with little to low education, income, and work class with a low household income. In these three different types of socioeconomic areas, there's also crimes that are being committed. The three different crimes that are mostly committed in the three different types of socioeconomic areas are: in upper class, you will find that most of the frequent committed areas are fraud related crimes that are considered also white collar crimes. In middle class, you will not find as many crimes committed, but let's not forget that there's still some crimes committed, but not as much as upper or lower socioeconomic areas. Some of these crimes committed in middle class could be, for example, burglary, drug trafficking, and home invasion. In lower socioeconomic areas, the most common crimes are burglary, drug trafficking, and home invasion. Now, when we think about crimes being committed in different types of socioeconomic areas, we will also come to think about policies. Policies are ways that we can prevent crimes from it being committed. So, for example, for the first one, we have the first policy that we can think of is keeping control of alcohol by placing an age restriction or having some restrictions with alcohol abuse and consumption. For number two, we have having gun control. By having gun control, we're having gun owners go through the process of a background check, a psychological evaluation, and a gun license. Number three, having a strict dropout age for students in school, which will prevent more students from being in the streets and potentially committing more crimes. For the following slides or presentation, furthermore, we will be discussing in detail crimes that are related to upper, middle, and lower class. Crimes that are related to upper socioeconomic class. These would be fraud and a white-collar crime. For fraud, most fraud crimes in upper socioeconomic areas are sentences that are served in federal prison due to the amount of money involved. White-collar crimes such as embezzlement, corporate fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. Secondly, we have crimes related to middle socioeconomic class. These would be traffic infractions, traffic citations, civil infractions, fees, and penalties. As to crimes related to lower socioeconomic class, these would be burglary, drug trafficking, home invasion, kidnapping, and fraud. If you will see in this slide that the comparison here would be to upper class, as fraud is also found in lower socioeconomic class. We will now be discussing policy number one. This is all in relations again to the different types of socioeconomic areas. Policy number one would be discussing drug alcohol control. Alcohol control and drugs. The only way that we can actually have some type of control here is by placing an age restriction, having some restrictions with alcohol abuse, alcohol licensing, and consumption. It is stated that 40% of the reason of violent crimes are due to alcohol abuse and alcohol use. For making matters worse, there has been a connection to having a possession of a gun illegally while being intoxicated. As to policy number two, Policy number 2 will be in relation to gun control, which would be by having gun owners go through the process of a background check, a psychological evaluation, and a gun license. It is stated that more than 30,000 of the deaths in the United States are due to gun and firearms a year. This is worse than further reading that the deaths yearly worldwide is about 1 million. As to policy number 3, it would be having a strict dropout age for students, which will prevent more students from being in the streets to potentially committing more crimes. This makes a whole lot of sense because if children are not in school learning or an after school or in any sort of program that's going to keep them busy, they will be enabled to make more crimes or will be enabled to learn about more crimes or easier ways to not go to school and have money somewhere somehow. A lot of the reasons that students might not be attending school, it might be due to having other responsibilities. Some of these responsibilities include having to take care of a sibling, having a family member, or even being housed or moving in different homes because perhaps they cannot meet the financial requirements as far as rent or paying utilities. So therefore, for example, there are students that they want to go to school and they can't go to school because the rent has to be paid, utilities have to be paid. So they have to choose in between going to school or helping mom and dad or helping somebody in the house to getting money. As to lower socioeconomic areas, they have a very chance of anything. In this case, when in regards to education, as we were discussing, they do not have the opportunity to access resources. These resources are important, such as books, computers, or even teachers that have a better salary. In conclusion, whether we are talking about lower, middle, or upper socioeconomic areas, crimes are always being committed. Some crimes are more serious than others, and all depends on socioeconomic areas. Socioeconomic areas are a big part when crimes are being committed. According to idealists, they believe that crimes are being committed by people due to their upbringing, for example, their environment in which they are being raised. This can be a good thing just because being raised in an environment can also promote social policies. These social policies will be improving better schools, appropriate childhood health care, better parenting training, and positive after-school programs or activities. If we think about some of these after-school programs or activities, we can think about any sports, dance, art, and all these activities are the type of activities that keep students out of trouble. Thank you all for being a part of this presentation, and I hope that you all have got a chance to learn something. Thank you.